Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm a little high or something. Not high, my seat is high. Let's start this again. Hi you guys, good morning. It is morning for me and I normally don't film this early in the morning. One, because I still get a little congested overnight and then it's early and I've literally not even halfway through my cup of coffee yet. So, okay you guys, I'm so excited for today's video because I have purchased 2 new inspired by dupe palettes from Natasha Denona. Not the Natasha Denona isn't the dupe, that's the original one. I happen to have those original ones. I saw that Alter Ego had released a couple dupes and I don't know why, so I don't always get when C Color Cosmetics and Alter Ego release new palettes. For some reason that doesn't show up in my inbox, in my feed, I just don't know. And then all of a sudden I'll see something and I go, wait, what? Hold on, what is that? So anyway, I picked up two Alter Ego palettes. I'm gonna do a dupe video today. I'm gonna save the Blooms palette, which is a dupe for Love. I'm gonna save that for another video. Today, we're gonna try the Retro palette along with the Harmony palette from Alter Ego. Now, Midi Retro Glam palette, this is not that. This is the Midi Retro palette. I also have the Midi Glam palette, but there is some confusion. So this is not the one from this year, this release. Alter Ego needs a little bit of time to get it and then turn around and do a dupe for it. So, or do a dupe palette for it, and this is it. This is what they came up with. And if I hold it side by side, they're not laid out exactly the same. In fact, it almost looks to me like they are not even opposite. I don't know, yeah, they're not in the same order at all. That's gonna be challenging for me to make sure I get the juice. Make sure they get the right shades. Let me look here at the names. Yeah, the names are not the same either, which is good because I think C Color did some with the same names and I was like, you know, that might be crossing the line just a little bit. I don't know. I feel a certain kind of way about it. I'm gonna do what I normally do with my dupe videos and I need to hurry because I actually have to get to work, which is the reason why I'm filming in the morning. And I figured I might as well do my makeup with you guys and might as well do a dupe video because why not make things more challenging for myself? Oh, I'm gonna do what I normally do. Squirrel. I'm gonna do what I normally do with videos and I'm going to use the same brushes. I'm gonna color switch them in between. I've got a little Sigma switch here, as well as some cotton rounds, stuff like that will make them as clean as possible. I don't know why I'm burning up right now. I'm taking my coat off because I got warm. You know how that goes? Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, let's get into this palette. I do have some eyelid primer. I did buy an Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. However, I didn't use it today. I used my Ride and Dye from Beauty Bay. It's very consistent. I don't know how other people feel about it, but I have had no issues with it at all. Gives me a little tiny bit of coverage without being too opaque and gives me a good base for application, and I figured this might be a good one to do with this. Okay, I'm gonna get some of the face brushes out of this little set from Rephr. Might as well play with the good stuff, right? The first one I'm gonna grab is a Rephr 01. I'm not gonna use all the colors because I just wanna do one look on each side. But I think on the Natasha side, I'm gonna start with this shade right here. It's kind of a taupey brown called Nude Mauve. And I'm gonna start with that I'm gonna start in my crease and then just kind of buff it up just a little bit. I'm just color switching the brush right now. Oh my gosh, I've loved hearing your guys' comments about how you can do colorful eyeshadows and stuff for work. So I think that one is supposed to be the dupe for this one over here, or this is the dupe for it. This is called Tender. I'm gonna scoot you guys in. I scoot you in a little bit, hopefully this helps. Since we're actually doing an eyeshadow application video, might as well, you know, look at the eyeshadow. The Alter Ego one does have a mirror in it, which is awfully nice. They really do seem like they're about the same size. The main difference is we've got a cardboard palette versus a plastic. Normally when I do these dupe videos, what I'm trying to do is look for a similar color story. Like, can we get the same look and feel without having to spend all the money? So far so good, huh? Maybe we need to go a little bit more on they're very similar. So out of the 2 kind of main dupe brands that I've been enjoying, C Color Cosmetics tends to be a little bit less expensive. I don't have my own code with either of these brands, so I can't give that to you, but there's lots of codes out there. Find your favorite YouTuber that's not me and get their code. Use their code for purchasing it. So there's the Alter Ego. I think they tend to run around like $16, whereas C-Color might be more like 10, and then you get a discount if you use somebody's code. Don't quote me on that, but that seems to be the common theme. I'm gonna use a Refer 12. Yeah, Refer 12 on my crease shade. Let's do this purple right here, or kind of, what would I call it? I don't know what color I'd call it. It's not really purple. It's called Groove. It's kind of a berry shade. So you guys, I'm very excited about the Midi Retro Glam for a couple of reasons. I really, really enjoyed the ABH Nouveau palette. And I said when I did my video on that I thought that was ABH's version of hey, so Natasha, you did this video, or you did this palette, playing with my brush. You did this palette with your Mini Retro, and then you turned around and did a Midi Retro, and it looks nothing like your Mini. And this is what it should have been, is kind of what I meant in my mental conversation of what I thought ABH did. I think this one should be Sense. I was looking at both of these, and it feels like, so after watching it, I can tell the difference here. So Sense is the one that I need to take on the Alter Ego side. Anyway, so I think ABH said, here, you know, hold my beer, let me do this. So you guys didn't do this correctly. And so I think Natasha had to go back in and do the one that, you know, everybody was asking for. If you loved Mel Thompson, you might recall she did a bundle with Sydney Grace, and Sydney Grace has just recently released this Mel Thompson memorial bundle that pretty much the same shades in it. It's very fun. Was I completely out of focus? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm zoomed in a little bit further even than I normally do. Not a professional YouTuber, not a professional makeup artist either. Getting kind of a little crazy with this color up here. It's spread a little bit further than I thought it was. Back over to my first brush. Tame that down. Color wise so far, I'm seeing, they really do seem like the same, patchy right there. I noticed that on the first shade too, but I can't be convinced that it's not the eyeshadow primer or just I'm a lady of a certain age and my eyes. Okay, I'm gonna switch my brush again and come back in on Natasha's side and just kind of buff this out a little bit. All right, I feel like this side over here on the Alter Ego side, I got a little crazy on. So we're gonna keep trying to make it look similar. I'm gonna take a clean brush, buff this out here. That's better. I need to get a move on because I do have a meeting I've got to get to, so we need to pick up the pace here. I want to use a couple different. Okay, there's two shades that I think are supposed to be the dupe for each other, but they don't look like they have the same quality. This one over here on the Natasha side is called Apart. I'm gonna grab it on a flat brush. Feel like it's a cream shadow though, or a cream to powder maybe. But I'm gonna use this to darken up corner. Yeah, like that. Okay, now I'm gonna clean the brush off, and then I'm just gonna switch it to flip it over to the other side too, just in case it was a cream. It doesn't really come off very well. And I'm gonna take Mercy on the Alter Ego side. Certainly seem to have the same opacity. So you guys, my take on dupes are, I have to, there's a fine line for me. I don't want it to look like a fake, right? I don't want it to seem like they're trying to be the other one, the original. Boy, those are very, I don't know that I'm going to be able to tell the difference between these two when I'm done. I want to be able to, you know that one is clearly not the other. It's not trying to be the more expensive version. And I'm going to take this shade right here too. This one's called Jude on the Natasha side. I feel like we want to make sure that we know that we're not buying the original, right? We're not getting the original at a ridiculously low price. What we're doing is we're getting inspired by. And if you don't have the money or weren't going to buy the original, okay. If you're not taking money away from the original, I'm not seeing a huge moral dilemma with that. Some people don't agree with that. Some people are just on a budget. They want to look pretty. They want to have all the things. This is on the Alter Ego side. This one's called Amity. I think C-Color Cosmetics has done a couple palettes now where they've just about crossed the line for me. They've named the shades the exact same shade, and they've named the palettes very similar to it, to the original, although different shapes, which I think helps a little bit, helps their cause, but not necessarily. Wow, this is coming along very, very well. I'm cleaning off my brush and just gonna up here a little bit further. So far, I'm thrilled. I think Alter Ego, in my mind, has done a little bit better job of not trying to copy it too much. I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is called Vivian on the Natasha side. It's the only one that seems like it's a little bit more loosely packed. Anyway, I appreciate that they don't exactly the same, but I can also really appreciate that they do put a lot of attention into trying to get things just right. I think they do a very good job. I think it's supposed to be this one that's called Shy. That's the closest one that I'm seeing to it. Yeah, it's a little less pink maybe than Vivian was. This is the first one that I've had that's a discrepancy so far between those shades. And honestly, it doesn't look that bad. I'm gonna take a little bit of that same Shy. The other thing I appreciate about Alter Ego is they're very quick to get them out. I mean, usually within a year, they have their dupe out, or they're inspired by. I'm gonna go back over to the same shade on the Natasha side. I don't usually like to highlight my brow bone so much, but I do like to blend it a little bit and have it be, I'm gonna say matte, but a little bit more seamless blend. I'm not the perfect blender. You know what? Looking at them together, this one's just a tinge more pink on this side. What if I were to take Shy and Tender together? I'm just kind of tapping into both ish. Yeah, I don't think that was a bad call. So I really like how fast Alter Ego is. I certainly like the price point, even though it's a little bit more. Color Cosmetics, that last brush was a Rephr 28. I'm gonna grab this little pencil brush. This is a Rephr 03, and I think I want to take this purple plummy, it's not the darkest color in the Natasha palette, but it's the second darkest. It's called Rebellion, and I think this is another cream to powder formula. Take a little bit. Go into Glory on the Alter Ego side. So despite not being as inexpensive as Color Cosmetics, I do feel like they're faster to get product out, and I feel like they're a little bit better quality. They're a little bit more spot on with the shade matching, which I can appreciate. So, I mean, out of the two, I think I've been Color Cosmetics has a lot more range of palettes out there. I think they've been around a lot longer. I don't know how much a lot longer is. I'm going to take Andy on the Natasha side. I'm using that same Rephr brush, shading it off a little bit. And I'm going to use this soften up that lower bit here. So over the years, I'm taking this shade right here on the Alter Ego side, which is called Nurture. I think over the years I've collected more Color Cosmetics, but I recently am going through a massive declutter, and in that massive declutter I think I'm getting rid of a lot of Color Cosmetic palettes that I've just never used. I never bought the original. I don't love the color story, so there's kind of no really reason for me to have it. We're just going to use the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara on both sides. I feel right now that these are a spot on dupe. I used a number of shades, but I didn't use all of them, and I feel that they performed very consistently. I had that one shade discrepancy with that one that I used kind of in the inner third of my eye. I think mixing a couple shades got me exactly where I needed to be, or at least much closer. I'm not upset by this at all. If you don't want to use your more expensive palettes for travel or for fear that they may break or something may happen to them, then I think that gets you a good alternative. Simultaneously, I think that if you're watching your dollars and cents, you could do a lot worse than buying the Harmony palette from Alter Ego. Now, I'm not sponsored, affiliated, endorsed. I get nothing in PR for them. I bought these with my own money. I bought them because you guys like the dupe videos, and I try to do, at least one a month, sometimes more. I still have dupes to go, so I didn't need to buy these. My camera's blinking at me, so it's telling me my battery needs to be charged. But I really did like the Natasha Denona Retro palette. One of my favorites, actually, that she's done. And I think that I like the way that it's split up between warmer shades over here and cooler shades over here. You don't have any pressed glitters or anything silly like that. The same thing is with the Harmony palette. You get a variety of different finishes. They don't have it laid out exactly the same, so it took my brain a little bit. I'm gonna have to map it and figure out where it is, shade for shade. But this, so far, of the shades that I played with, which was probably, 5 or 6 different shades, this is fantastic. I'm thoroughly impressed. I don't think anybody that's going to look at me today is going to say, oh, she's using 2 different brands, 2 different palettes in her eyes. That's kind of the test that we're trying to do here. So I hope this helped you guys in some way. You can check out Alter Ego's website. I don't have a code with them. I think Allie Glines might have a code with them. I don't know. Maybe someday. I'll be a real YouTuber and I'll get codes to be able to save you guys some money. Anyway, these are the 2 palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys. I will see you back here in the next few days, and usually 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I hope you're doing really well, and until my next video, bye for now.